Hello guys, hi, I'm Dr. Ellie.
I'm Dr. Inky.
And welcome to the Two Dog Show.
Yeah, the Dustly duo are back again.
Yes, and up to no good and trying to teach you or educate or share with you some perspectives from our point of view.
Alright, so what are we going to be talking about today, Ellie?
This week, let's talk something a bit touchy, and we might get some hate mails. We might get, maybe you and I might lose some fans. Maybe me more than you.
Probably you more than me.
But let's talk about being what is it to be a boy versus a man, and maybe we'll touch a little bit on chivalry.
So what's the difference between a boy and a man?
Age group lah.
Age group lah, yeah lah. Boy, you small PP, man, you my big PP.
Bigger one. My one bigger than your one, that kind of whole thing, right? Yeah. So I think as time grows, things have changed in the sense that the mentality of men has changed, whereby we get men. I mean, once upon a time, men was defined by what they do. Yeah. What kind of responsibilities they want to carry upon themselves, and how they conduct themselves, versus the boys. And I think, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, like when you have to step up into the family,
okay,
or maybe they might define you as the guy who went to war.
So back then the man was the sole breadwinner. Correct. He was the one who supported the family in terms of finance. He brings the bread home, and then as well as if need be, as you mentioned, he needs to step up, go to war, and then fight for his country and family.
Yep. So there's some more honor. I think even in like probably ancient Greek mythologies, or even the Roman time, probably more to during the Greeks time, or even let's say we watched that movie 300.
Okay.
All right. So before Leonidas became king,
Yep.
he had to prove himself. He has to go out and he has to go and slay a beast, and then only he is defined from boy becomes a man.
Yeah, it's true. So back then the Spartans, when you were 12 years old, they literally take you, drop you in the middle of a jungle, give you a small knife or a spear, and you're supposed to camp there, I think, for a week or so.
Yep.
And if you perish in the process, too bad. You're a boy.
Correct.
If you don't perish and you end up, you survive the whole ordeal, then you are now a man.
Correct. I think those were very brutal times,
Oh, yeah.
but it was easy to define. You cross here, now you're a man. These days, it's getting a bit more. The lines are getting blurry.
It's very blurry these days. Well, I think one of the issues would be because back then men were the sole breadwinners.
Yep.
However, now, of course, I support gender equality. I want my better half to actually work.
Yep.
Right. But because there is a blurring the line, so a lot of men, a lot of males have lost the position, and now they have slowly and carefully transitioned into, I would say, a more feminine role already.
Yeah, but that's the thing. How do we define? Do you think we should call it feminine?
I would say feminine.
They're becoming feminine, or they're just losing the masculinity?
I think losing the masculinity would be a better word for it.
So I think there's two. Because one is you're calling yourself a feminine. That means you're becoming soft.
True.
Whereas the other one was you never become hard.
Pun intended.
Yes, it is.
Pun intended. Knowing Ellie is always pun intended.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah. So then what's the difference between a boy and a man then? All right. So let's say example, we always assume that back then men would do everything for the ladies.
Yes.
They will hold the door, open the car door,
right. Pull out the chair.
Yeah, they pull out the chair.
Ladies first.
Yes, ladies first. Pass his jacket to the lady if she's feeling cold. So what do boys do?
I don't know. I don't know. But let's start with why are they not doing it first?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Now, I've met some people who says, why should I do? Women wants equal opportunity. Women wants equal rights. So as much as I'm supposed to hold the door, they can hold for themselves, or maybe they should open for me too.
Well, that's not wrong, because if you want equal rights, then of course you should give the females
a chance to
do that as well. But end of the day, right? Even as equal as females want to be, I think females also deserve to be pampered. right? They deserve to have someone look after them or look over them, or someone to, at least do the small stuff, the chivalry stuff, to hold the door, put a chair up, and stuff like that.
I think it also boils down to maybe just manners.
Probably
Just manners. I think holding the door should not just be for females. You're not holding it for the girl. You're holding it for anyone.
True.
Opening the car door. If you have a guest, you open for your guests. If you can. Let's say allowing someone to go in or out of the lift first. Waiting for them. If they're in a rush, let them go first. I mean, it's all boils down to manners rather than just plain good old chivalry or what the man should have done. So somewhere along the line, you're right. The lines become blur. These things define a little bit about what a man could be, a man could do, but yet we're not doing it for various reasons. Whether is it because of women who wants equal rights, or maybe it's just plain laziness.
Well, when do you think the shift happened?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But let's just say that. Do you hold the door?
I do.
Yeah, you hold the door for me sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Just now when you were coming into the place, I held the door for you.
You even offered to carry the bag. So you see, that's plain manners.
So probably, I think probably a shift happened somewhere in probably the 90s or early 2000s, whereby it's no longer, it's no longer a norm to actually do all this stuff.
And I think also because women now are capable of doing it for themselves also. So it's a bit of a two-edged sword. On one side, as you said, the norms have changed. On the other side also, the paradigm have shifted. Women already said, it's okay. If you don't do it for me, I can do it for myself.
True. But then again, I've met a lot of women that say that, I can do it for myself, but it wouldn't hurt, if you have done it, if you have held the door for me, it wouldn't have hurt.
All the boys out there, listen up. As much as your girlfriends, your wife say it's okay, don't do it, I can do it myself, you will get extra points.
Yeah.
Just by doing all the simple stuff.
Yeah. And I probably have to blame also. I've probably have to blame the current popular culture, the pop culture now. Because back then, being a man or being masculine means that, you're a little bit rough around the edges, right? Someone who does farming, who fishes, someone who's rough, who doesn't mind getting his hands dirty. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't mind getting his hands dirty and all. Someone's buff. But now, if you look at the definition of a male in some countries, it gets a little bit blur. They no longer want to get their hands dirty. They no longer want to be big size or buff. They are nicely groomed, and I have nothing against well-groomed men, but their grooming, I would say their grooming features would place them in between a male and a female, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult to differentiate. Right? So something happened along the way. Something definitely happened along the way, and I actually blame the Korean culture. I blame the Korean culture. To be honest, if I watch Korean drama these days, right? I can. There are times when I do not know which is the male lead and the female lead. And they both look like female leads.
Well, the one that started to confuse me was, I walked past one of these video shops or record stores, music stores, and you see a popular Korean girl band.
Okay.
And they're all pretty. They're very, very nice to look at. All right. Then you walk past the male one, then you're like, oh, another girl band. The boy bands look very...
Yeah. And actually,
feminine.
this happened to me roughly a while ago. I think a couple of weeks ago. So I was heading to the loo. All right. So it's a new place. I do not know where the toilet is. And as I was heading there, then I saw someone walk out of the loo. And I was like, oh, this is the wrong one. This is the female toilet. Then I went to the other side. Then I realized, hey, shit, this is also the female toilet. Then I realized why. Because the person that walked out of the male toilet that passed me by just now, well, he looked a little bit like a female. All right. So hence is why in my mind, I thought that was actually the female toilet. So I actually backtracked. After a while, I thought to myself, hey, something's wrong. I've entered the wrong toilet, and now so I have to make my way back to the
right toilet.
Yeah, to the right toilet.
Next
now.
time, just go OKU.
Yeah,
genderless.
It's horrible, man. Yeah. There was actually a toilet like this in one of the clubs I went to. Genderless toilet. It's a unisex toilet.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and
so anyone can go in.
They have frosted doors.
Oh.
So basically, you could see the silhouette of the person behind it.
All right.
And then
You have to guess.
Yeah, you have to guess
Male,
whether it's
female,
male
or
or female.
both.
Yeah, and then it is genderless. It means that it's unisex toilet. Of course, now that we're all for equality, I don't mind the unisex toilet, but it felt like the females were a little bit uncomfortable with the guys being there.
Well, it is. Well, as much as people say genderless and everything, there is still, sexual predators out there. So you have to be a little bit careful. They have to be a little bit careful for themselves. Okay. Hi guys, we're on the Two Dog Show, and today we are talking about boys versus men.
Yeah.
Right, and it's chivalry dead. So again, we are not actually putting down men who wants to be effeminate. I think that's fine. But we're talking about men who should be men. If you choose to pick that gender, then is there any qualities that would define you to be manly or to be a gentleman, rather than just remaining as boyish or boy-like?
So what is gentleman?
Well, let's say we go old classic.
Okay.
Old classic. All right, gentlemen. Let's use that movie. What's it called?
Which one? Gentleman.
The one that says "Manners maketh man."
Oh yeah, the Kingsman.
The Kingsman. All right. Maybe that's a little bit too orthodox British.
Yeah, that's too British style.
Yeah, but let's use that as a yardstick.
Yeah, it's
as
not
a yardstick.
Yeah,
all right,
it's not a bad measurement.
You dress well, you speak well. You notice that Colin Firth's character doesn't really swear as much.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's key.
And he's very composed. He doesn't have severe bursts of emotions. So he's quite well in control of himself, rather than one that goes a bit hyper or gets overexcited. Assesses situation well. Okay. Can take decisive action.
All right. Then on the other side, you have his co-star who was a boy.
Yes.
Can't
decide.
Yeah, he can't decide. He has bursts of emotions.
Yes.
He feels anger. He's anxious, and as well as when it was time to step up, he couldn't.
Right.
Yes, when it was time to actually showcase his masculinity or to actually protect someone, he couldn't.
He couldn't. And there's always that burst, the need to show off.
Yes.
Well, the other one is my actions will speak for me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I think using that as a very easy yardstick will probably say, okay, that's probably what the yardstick of what being a gentleman is. Now, Inky, there's another issue. Ever heard of Mama's Man?
Yeah, Mama's Boy, actually.
There you go. See, I asked Mama's Man, and you answered Mama's Boy.
It's
So it's
always
always
Mama's
Mama's
Boy.
Boy. Mama's Boy. Mama's Boy. We've never heard of Mama's Man.
Exactly.
Because Mama's Man is the husband.
You got it right.
But the boy will always be there. And you can be a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, and you will still carry that label Mama's Boy.
That's right. That's
now,
right.
why do you think Mama's Boy term exists?
Well, the
How do
Mama's
you
Boy
define it?
term exists. Well, when someone always puts his mums first, right? And again, it's not wrong to actually put your mum first. But when time and time again, you do not have your own opinion, and you need to go back to your mom for an opinion or to get your mom's approval, even though you're already a full-fledged adult. You already have your own opinions, but you still place your mom's opinion above yours. Now that generally happens. Well, it's because yes, probably when you're growing up, your mom pampered you a lot, but at the same time, your mom probably took away a lot of I would say a lot of
Your cojones. Your
yeah.
cojones.
Yeah, took
your
your
balls.
balls away, man. Just took your
Let's
balls
just
away.
say it. Let's say it as we mean it.
Yeah, man. So your mom
Your
took your
mama
balls
took
away.
your balls away.
Yeah, and your mom has made it clear that you should not disrespect her in any way, even if you are right and she's wrong.
Correct.
And hence, for the rest of your life, it's okay to respect your mom, right? All of us do, but you fear your mom.
Yep.
Yeah. And
In
when you
fact,
fear your mom,
in
you're a
fact,
mama's
when
boy.
she makes decisions that overrule you, and you're both not wrong, but she just feels she's more right than you, and therefore you don't make a stand.
Yeah, you end up giving in.
Yeah. So I think what was that movie that
Which one?
showcased it? Crazy Rich Asian. Was
Crazy
that?
Rich Asians,
Crazy Rich Asian.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah, the
Henry
rich,
Golding's character,
the rich guy,
the rich guy, and then the mom just,
And the mom
Michelle
said,
Yeoh,
yep,
overrule everything.
Yep.
Overrules
Yep.
everything. I don't even remember how the story ends, but anyway, the beginning would probably be showcasing what a mama's boy would have been like.
Yes,
you're
exactly.
successful,
Exactly.
you could be good looking, you are suave, you're educated.
He was gentleman though. He was a gentleman.
But he was a
chivalry,
gentleman.
But
Yep.
he was a mama's
but
boy.
he was mama's boy.
Yes.
So again, the definition again is very blurry. I guess if you do 50% of it, you're not too bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're not, you don't have the chivalry, you're not a gentleman, and yet you're mama's boy, that's where you would probably stay in the boy section for a while till you decide to, grow some balls and grow
a
up.
pair lah, basically.
Grow a pair lah.
Yeah, grow a pair.
Having the real thing in the center doesn't mean anything till you got the tools on the side.
Yeah. So let's say if someone is a boy and they deep down inside they say, you know what, I am a boy. I admit I'm a boy and I want to become a man, but I do not know how. So what can they do to actually transition from a boy to a man?
Do what the Spartans do. You gotta put yourself out and see if you survive or not.
Yep.
Really.
Yep.
There's no shortcut. There's no pill to take today. This is not like workout whereby you can cheat and take some steroids, take some testosterone thing. You might look masculine, but you don't have that maturity.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to survive, whether it's business, relationship, or anything at all. You have to be able to go in, make the decision, and right or wrong, success or failure, live by it, and don't blame anyone but yourself.
Yes,
I think that's the beginning steps of
yeah.
trying to say that you're trying to grow up
Yeah.
by
So-
taking responsibility.
Yeah. And a lot of times, if you are, let's say, you are living in with your parents, and your parents tend to override most of the things you say, well, the simplest way is very simple: just move out.
Correct.
Just move out, right?
Correct.
You don't have to move too far. You can always go on the weekends to see them.
Yep.
But you move out, you stand on your own 2 feet, be independent, right? Provide for yourself, right? Feed yourself, clothe yourself, make your own bed.
Yep.
All right. Wash
Or
your
don't
own
make your own
clothes,
bed.
or
It's
don't
up to
make
you.
your-
It's really up to
then
you.
it's up to you. Right. And then be independent. Once you're independent, then you slowly would then, start to become your own man.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think parents who are listening in or would be parents, this will be a good advice that you have to let
Oh, yeah.
the
You have to let them
child
grow, man.
grow. You have to
you
let
let
the
them go.
boy grow. Otherwise, he'll always be a man child. The Peter Pan
Yeah.
syndrome, as some people would say, the boy who doesn't grow up. All right, he might be 40 years old, 50 years old, still living with you, and yet his strings are so tightly bound to the
Yes.
parents that he can't make a decision. He can't do anything. Whatever he does, there's always a safety net.
Yep.
If there's a safety net, you don't grow.
Yep.
You only grow. You get stronger when you fall and you have
Yes.
pain. You break a bone, then your
Yep.
bones heal. Then you learn to strengthen your muscle. Then you get better and better. It's kind of like football. There's no footballer who has never broken at least one bone or
Yes,
torn
that's
one
right.
ligament, but they don't quit. They come back stronger than ever. Or in the case of like Cristiano Ronaldo, he just makes sure that he works extra
Yeah.
hard.
You
o-
outwork everyone
You outwork
else.
everyone else so that you are stronger than everyone else. Okay, but that's it, Inky. I think one of the best decisions my parents did was my dad tried to kick me out from the home as soon as possible.
Really?
Yeah,
At what
yeah.
age?
Well, he wanted me out of the house as early as 13 by kicking me off.
13
by kicking me off the boarding school.
Oh, boarding school.
Yeah,
Okay.
but tak jadi. Then
Tak
he tried
jadi.
again at 16, and I crawled my way back like a boy. The secret is out. But once I hit pre-U, so 17 plus 18, moved out,
Then
and I
you
never
moved
moved
out.
back. I've
Yes.
never moved back. I go back. I visit them during holidays.
Yep.
Now I come back and visit them during the weekends. We're very close, but the whole thing was that the decision to move out. Then every decision I have to make.
Yep.
There is minimal safety net. There is some safety net, knowing that okay, you don't have money, you can just give your call, pa, give me. I'm a bit tight.
Yep.
They might help you, but even better if you don't make that call.
Yep.
And you fend for yourself. You do your budgeting. You suffer a little bit. You tighten your purse strings. You make wrong decisions and you don't tell anyone.
Yep. Well, sometimes it's very difficult. Example, when you're trying to remove a band-aid, right? So when you're trying to remove a band-aid, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can slowly do it, and then it's gonna hurt the entire journey.
Yep.
Right. No matter how many seconds or how many minutes, or you can just rip it
Rip
right
it off.
Right. Hurts for that couple of seconds, but after that, then there is that. Then the pain actually goes away. So the same thing as well. A lot of times, if you're placed in the deep end of the pool, right, you're forced to learn how to swim. Right, you're forced to learn how to swim, and it actually makes you a better swimmer after that.
Do you remember when you started swimming?
Yeah, I started swimming at the age of about 5 actually.
How did you start swimming?
Well, first of all, I was afraid. I like playing in a small pool.
Playing in the water, right?
Yeah, playing in the water. But when I was forced to transition to a larger pool, I was fearful. Really, really fearful, and I was fighting my way and all. You know what my dad did? He took me and he just threw me into the Olympic-sized pool. He threw me in. And then
that's the deep pool.
Yeah, it was a deep pool. He just threw me in. Of course, I couldn't swim. I was struggling. I was paddling water. I was trying to grasp for air. Of course, I had a swimming instructor, and he was there to actually hold me up. But if it wasn't for the fact that my dad threw me into the pool, I would still be stuck at the kids'
side.
Yeah, I'll be stuck at the kids' side for many months or many years to come. So my dad he also had no choice. Saying if you don't learn how to swim now, eventually you will drown. So you need to learn how to swim now, and I need to throw you into the deep end of the pool. Of course, someone will be there to guide you just in case anything happens, but I need to throw you at the deep end of the pool, and that's what he did.
Yep. I remember mine. Same exact story. So my dad's a lifeguard. I mean, when he was back in school, he was a trained lifeguard. So for him, swimming is like second nature to him. And when he came to training me, same things. Scared like a chicken being thrown into the water, and literally when he threw me in, well, I didn't get an Olympic sized pool as you, so I still got a 1.5 meters for a kid that's barely a meter. 1.5 is deep. Yeah. So threw me in, and that time I was standard 1, so that will be about 7, 6 plus 7 since I'm year end boy, so it's 6 plus 7. And gasping for air, flapping inside like, I wouldn't even say a dog, literally a chicken in water, flap, swallow water, then he pulls me out. We didn't have any instructor. The next one, he taught me how to breathe. And I remember I was just crawling by the side of the pool, afraid to let go. But by the next one, which will be the third lesson, I don't know. I just went in and just started
swimming.
Oh,
it's good.
Not good, but still.
But no, it's good.
The fear had to get rid of it, and
say,
because if you don't do it, he's gonna throw you in again.
Yeah, exactly.
So you better survive, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's what being transitioning from a boy to moving to a man is all about. You gotta be able to know that take some risks. You gotta be able to anticipate. You gotta be able to put in that extra effort. And if you don't do it for anyone else, you have to do it for yourself. Yeah. Whereas most people, I think they have safety nets. Parents these days actually give a lot of safety nets to kids. Man. It's amazing the amount of safety nets they give to the kids so that the kid can always be dependent on them. I was having a discussion with some friends and even with my wife some time ago, and we talk about kids and parents. These days, parents tend to overprotect the kids.
Yes.
All right. They're worried that the kids get bullied in school, so they are on standby to scold the teachers. They're afraid the child, right? I don't say even their offspring or something more adult, like their child goes to work. They're afraid the child gets bullied at work. They don't mind coming to work to scold the superiors. And worse yet, they don't even mind supporting the child through life for at least many years.
Yeah. So for parents, right, so there's actually a lot of different types of parenting or parenting styles. So one of the kind of parents that tend to pamper the child or overprotect the child, or what we call helicopter parents. So basically they're always hovering around the kids, and hence the term helicopter. They're always around the kids. They do not allow the kids to fall, right? They do not allow the kids to injure themselves or to make mistakes. Every time they make a mistake, they will calm the kid down by saying, you know what, you've done your best. It's okay. Let's not try it anymore.
Yes.
Right? Let's not try it anymore. Let's do something else that
bad
you're
road.
Comfortable with.
Bad bicycle.
It's bad.
It's not your fault.
Yeah,
bad bicycle.
But this actually instills a very bad habit. It means your child no longer wants to fail. And every time your child fails, you encourage him to do something else. So I actually had a couple of experiences of overprotective parents, whereby I was interviewing for staffs.
All right.
And then on a couple of occasions, all right, they were accompanied by their parents.
Oh wow.
It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine if the parents
Wait
brought
outside the
them
car,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, brought them to the office for the interview, but they waited outside the car. You know, they waited in the car, they waited in the lobby somewhere far away. Let the child go for his interview. You know, let the child try out for the interview. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. But no, the parents were sitting in the waiting area as well, right? And then telling the child, "Don't worry," you know. And after a while, even after the interview, all right, the parents will actually come up to me and say, "You know what? I really want you to hire my kid. You know, my kid is this, my kid is that."
Wow, you experienced that?
Yes, I actually had that a couple of. It's not even once, right? It's actually a couple of times, really, right? Of course, these people were fresh grads. Right? However, it instills a wrong kind of
Message to them.
message to them that, you know what, if it doesn't work out, it's okay, you can always come back to us. And then the child would and I say child, and the child would not want to try harder. Imagine being rejected for a couple of times, and what they'll end up with, they just go back to their parents.
Yeah. And speaking about, you know, not wanting to try, a lot of times they are like, I don't want to do it anymore because I'm not going to get it anyway. So as I think Michael Jordan says, you miss 100% of shots you don't make. If you don't go for it, you don't even have a chance to say you fail. You don't even qualify into the area of saying that I failed. You don't have that privilege of saying you tried and failed because you didn't even try at all. That's worse. But we've digressed very far.
Very far from boys to men,
to us lamenting,
failing,
you know, failing.
No, So, but coming back, all right. So, boys, why are they boys and why aren't they men? Because a lot of times it actually boils down to a few factors. Of course, one is the parents, right? A person's personality or characteristic is molded ever since they're young. Ever since the age of 2 or 3, you could actually easily tell their characteristic, whether the person is fearful, whether the person is brave, whether the person is smart, or the person is just plain lazy. You can see it from the age of 2 or 3. And a lot of times, it's the parents themselves that actually mold the kids. All right. So, example, if you want to mold a boy and you don't want to mold a man, end of the day, the only person that you have to blame are the parents. But the one who suffers the consequences is the child.
The child, on the long run, will suffer the consequences long after the parents have gone. But let's not put too much of
pressure
on the parents. I think after that, second part will be society.
Yes.
All right. So let me rewind back to school. And do you remember the time when you're you're back in school and there's girls around, or let's say you meet a girl, or even in college, and they would always show a slightly more effeminate or cute boy, and they always say, "Oh, this guy's so cute. This guy's so cute." All right, my time would have been Jonathan Brandis, Edward Furlong, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio. I have
back
no
when
idea
he
who
was-
Edward Furlong is,
Yeah, well.
but I know Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay.
Well, these the younger ones. Even Brad Pitt.
Okay, Brad Pitt. Yes.
Even Brad Pitt. On the younger days, he actually looks very boyish.
Oh yeah, he does. He does.
And the way that females describe a good-looking boy is not manly. It's cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
So society molds says that, you know, if a guy wants, let's not say boy or man, but if a guy wants to appear attractive to the girl of that age, they have to be cute.
Yes.
All the way up to university, and even maybe in your early work stage, you gotta be cute. And hence these days you get a lot of these cute guys who go on Instagram and they do this, the post.
Peace sign.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead. That's your choice in life, but you fall under the cute category.
Yeah, so it's actually society and culture itself, and pop culture. So whatever is popular during that time actually dictates what the guy would be like. Example, currently, if you look at all the male leads and all the in all the movies and all, generally they are very well groomed, and generally they look like young boys. They look like young
What
boys.
have you been watching?
Yeah, well, I
I
watch a lot of movies. Right?
I watch Superman, so he's manly.
Well, Superman is manly.
Oh, except for one, Superman Returns. That guy will look a bit effeminate.
Yes,
yeah.
that guy is a little bit effeminate.
Yeah.
So back then, right, back a long time ago, if you look at Hollywood movies, right, you look at all the old classics,
Yep.
you know, the men look like men,
Yep.
right? They usually have facial hair.
Yep.
They're very rugged. But currently, if you look
Chiseled
at the
look.
current,
They
yeah,
got a
very
chiseled
chiseled look,
look.
very chiseled look, right? But if you look at the current ones, you know, they have a very boyish look. They have very, very boyish charm. Yeah, of course, there's no harm having boyish charm, but that molds society. You know, when you show society that, you know, these guys are good looking, then the girls like it. When the girls like it, the guys want to be like that. So eventually, all the guys slowly turn to this boyish look and boyish behavior. Usually comes along.
I don't know why people don't watch more James Bond and learn how to be the guy.
Well,
Well, James Bond is not really a manly man, you know. He's not like buff.
no, yeah, he's not. He is quite buff.
Only
but in the
Daniel,
movie,
only
nah,
Daniel Craig. Was
yeah,
buff.
yeah, only Daniel Craig.
The rest
was
were
buff.
not buff. The rest
Yeah,
actually had a
actually,
bit
yeah.
of belly, and if when they come out, right, there's still that belly with a lot of fur
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, you're right, actually.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
because I was doing a study, I was reading up because now the whole thing about No Time to Die is coming soon, and then they're talking about who's the next Bond. So the analysis was Bond's character for Daniel Craig is very
It's out of the
out
box.
of
lah.
the box.
Yeah,
He's a bit more buff, but not
Yes.
super buff. But
Very
the
rough,
others were more gentlemanly,
Yes.
more English-like,
Yes, that's right.
and they were not super buff. They looked like the regular guy who was good-looking. So even being a gentleman doesn't mean you have to be like super buff.
Yep.
I think the one guy right now who probably can encapsulate boy and man in one package, Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth is
The boyish
is-
look?
Yeah, he
But when he
has a
speaks
boyish
and
look,
when
but-
he behaves, he's like,
Yeah.
You see Thor all the time. He's Thor doing everything. Even when his new movie, it looks like Thor with a gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Chris Hemsworth has both. I would say he looks more of a man, but he has the boyish charm.
Correct.
Yeah, too.
And let's talk about Fast and Furious. All right. So the late Paul Walker, boy,
Yeah, boy, definitely.
always the boy, never decisive,
Yeah.
always can't decide.
Yes, always kind
Then
of
you get
decide. It's
Vin
always
Diesel,
emotional. Yeah.
who's
you know,
always the man.
Yeah, the man.
Yeah, the alpha male,
Yes, that's right.
and everyone else is all like semi-alpha, but Paul Walker ends up being the beta.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
one level below.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But
that's right.
yeah, so yeah. But coming back, when we talk about the influences, all right. Next, I think because being a man also means that you gotta have that responsibility and being able to take the fall and being decisive. I think I was reading something today and it's saying why it's so hard to find quality guys. And social media and how the world has changed plays a very major role.
Of course.
All right. Back then, if you wanted to date someone, you have to meet them in person. You actually need to have the balls to talk to them. You're
Yes.
not just passing notes. Even passing notes needs some balls.
Yeah, of course.
And then to recognize or to admit that I'm the one passing the note is another thing. To talk to them takes lots of guts. To go out and to be present and to be able to carry a conversation takes also extra guts.
Yes.
These days, people can hide behind the phone.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is, the persona has changed. That's why it's hard to tell introverts until you meet them.
Yeah, that's actually true because a lot of times, with the advance of technology, it's much easier to reach out to more people at a given time. But at the same time, you can carve out a particular online persona, which is not like you. You know, you can appear manly or on social media, but actually deep down you are actually not. You know, you're probably an introvert. You're probably, you know, a little bit
Reclusive
a little bit, reclusive.
or-
Yeah. So it might not be you per se. So nowadays with all these apps like Tinder and even something as simple as
Facebook, yeah.
Facebook and
Instagram, yeah.
Facebook and Instagram. You know, the person featured on the Facebook or on Instagram might not actually be the real person or the real or
the real persona,
or
of
the real
that person.
persona of
Yeah.
that person in
Yeah,
real life.
the pictures might be real, although some might be even catfishing. But let's assume that pictures were real, the situation was real, the words were real, but that's just not the persona. And the real life person could have been just a total 180 or 360 degrees turn. Totally not that same person. I also read that these days a lot of keyboard warriors, people who dare to talk and be very loud, technically are pussies.
They are.
They are actually very afraid in real life, but they're very brave.
They're
to
very
say
brave
it out loud behind the veil
Behind
of
the
social
veil,
media with a
yes.
different name, different everything. They don't have to take responsibility. So when they don't take responsibility, they can just blast whatever they want to say, and actually that shows immaturity or pretty much being a boy.
It is actually because you are not in control of your emotions.
Correct.
Yeah,
you let it burst.
You allow something small to actually get to you.
Correct.
And then it transpires into anger, angry words. Even some people end up cursing and all. Yeah. So as you mentioned, a lot of people actually hide behind the security of the internet, right? And with this anonymous names and profiles and all these nicknames and all these avatars, and because you have this security or this veil in front of you, only then you become brave.
Correct.
All right. But however, when confronted, then you like as
Then
you
you
mentioned,
panic.
turn into pussy.
You just
the balls just shrink up. The balls just shrink up.
Yeah, you don't roar as you're supposed to roar anymore, and I mean, that's sad. I mean, you want to be who you are. Be who you are. But that's it. If you want to be able to voice out, think through it. Have the maturity to think through it. And if you're gonna say it, then you have to take full responsibility of it. All right. Don't say it for the sake of saying it at the spur of the moment. And also because of social media and as you say, Facebook, Instagram, Tinder, people have also found it not necessary to be a responsible partner anymore.
Okay.
Because things like friends with benefits.
Okay.
Why have a girlfriend when I can have 10 girls?
Okay.
For a different occasion. Why marry when I can just move from one to the other?
Yeah. So commitment. So basically, boys are afraid of commitment, and men don't mind committing if they found the right partner.
Correct. Do you know once upon a time the way to do business was actually to find out if the guy is married?
Oh, really?
Yes. So that was one of the
criteria
of doing business. That if you are not married, you're not on the same table. Because we know you can't take shit. You are not able to handle someone called the wife to give you trouble 24/7 or give you pressure 24/7. How can you do business with us? All right.
Interesting.
Whatever it is, let's say to be able to handle the family, to be able to handle the wife. If you have a nagging wife and you can still handle it, fine.
It's fine.
Even let's say if you hide secrets from your wife, I'm not condoning this, but if you are able to hide secrets, then it also means that in the corporate world, you can hide. secrets.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So there was a criteria once upon a time that they're not just golfing, but actually, if you were married, there was a higher likelihood that you will get business done.
All right.
This actually came from my friend who.
This is interesting.
Yeah, who said that he proudly wears the largest ring possible
Aha.
when he goes for business deals.
Okay.
Not the standard wedding band.
Okay.
But you buy one of those really
This huge rings,
obnoxious one. And if they ask, is that a decorative? No, I'm married. And it kind of like just helped him get businesses closed.
Okay. Yeah, that is interesting. I never knew that being married would be one of the
perks of doing
you were
business.
actually give an advantage.
In fact, actually, secretly, that became a bit of my criteria if I want to do business with someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't matter whether you're divorced or not, but if you had gone through it, you would have gone through certain phases in life that would have challenged you, that would have put up some difficulties. And you would have also been able to handle responsibilities.
Okay.
And if you've got kids, that's even better.
Interesting.
And if there's a harmony behind it, it's
even better. Yeah.
But if it's too perfect, then it's like, okay, you might be spending too much time to the family, not much time at work. It's weird. It's weird. That's not how I do all the time, but it kind of just gives a bit of a red
Red flag.
red flag, and
basically.
says, okay, I need to find out more
More about this guy.
more about this guy. Okay, and if not, or if it's good, great. If it's not, red flag. That's it. Just a alert sign. That's it. But if one that wants to talk big but not married, no responsibilities, flutters from one place to another, that's a massive red flag.
Yeah.
That's for me to okay.
Yep,
Don't
yep,
don't
yep,
put
yep,
in
yep.
too much. Don't put in too
Yep.
much hope. Don't put in any investment. Just see where this flows. That kind of thing.
Yeah. And touching on work, right? So I've actually met a lot of people who are actually who look like men, but actually boys at heart. So how do you actually know they're actually boys at heart? Very
Can you
simple.
can you describe? Like, you know,
Right. So a person who is loud, right? Very loud, usually the loudest person in the room. Borderline obnoxious. Would have a very narcissistic view of himself. Like to talk big. As if he's the center of attention or he's center of universe, and he can do everything else.
Yep.
And most of the time, he tends to butt into conversations. All right, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to wait his turn. Right? He wants to butt into conversations. And more often than not, when I find these kind of people, I find that they do not back up what they say. So when it comes to work-wise, they can say, I can do this. They tend to exaggerate or brag. But when it comes to
Delivering.
time to deliver, they generally can't.
Yep. There's an excuse for everything.
Yes, there's always an excuse.
Never their
for it.
fault. That's another sign.
Yes.
It's never their fault.
It's never their fault.
But at any point of time, even though it's not their fault, they need to win.
Yes, that's right.
They need
that's
to
right.
win.
Yeah, it's never their fault. No, they might throw someone under the bus just to make themselves look good. And as you mentioned, they always want to win.
Yeah.
So I always made sure that I kept away from these kind of people, especially when you're doing business or even if you want to hire.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Because you end up hiring a man child, someone who talks a lot.
man-child.
Yeah,
Correct.
a huge man child, and he looks like a man, but he's a child. Right.
And don't be surprised. Age does not necessarily play a factor.
Yes.
I've met a 24, 25-year-old so-called child. I mean, because my age, child, but has the maturity of a 40-year-old. He can tell right from wrong. He can take responsibility, accountability, and at any point of time, if he slacks up, able to apologize, but always, hey, what else can I do to improve? And I've met mid-40s, 50s, even leaders of organizations or companies who can't even do half of what this boy can do. And yet they want to be daman.
So age doesn't necessarily dictate how mature the person is.
Correct. It's all about the thinking, the maturity, being able to process and still put people before you.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
But whatever it is, even if you put people before you and they screw up, then you can still say it was my fault.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm taking responsibility of it. Be accountable. So accountability,
Exactly. If it's your fault,
responsibility. It's your fault. It's your fault. But more importantly, is actually knowing that what can we do to improve? What can we do to move forward? The problem has happened.
Yep.
So what?
Exactly.
What can we do to be better, and what can we do to prevent future problems?
Yes, exactly. So I was reading this one article, this one CEO, I forgot which company. So basically, one of his staff screwed up, wasted a lot of money, all right, cost the company millions. And then, of course, the staff was afraid that he was going to get fired. And the CEO calmly told him that you're not going to get fired. The reason why is this, because now you know that you're wrong. You will learn from your mistakes and you will not do the same mistake again. So what a company has paid for is $1 million mistake. It's fine. But if I fire you and I hire the next guy and he does the same mistake, I would have lost $2 million.
million.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. That's
so
absolutely
learn
right.
from your mistakes.
Learn from your mistakes. And in fact, if to move forward, and he says, if you've already known this, I mean, now that you've known, you're going to use this personal experience of nearly being fired to educate another 5 people.
Yes.
You would have saved another 5 million.
Yep.
So the overall loss would have been just 200,000 on average.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's just a law of average. And when we talk about what separates boys from men, that's basically
that's basically it.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
It's like even in sports, you want to be great. Like I think tennis probably has one of the most amount of gentleman conduct. Except for some whereby they show their tantrums, but a lot of them ends up having a very gentlemanly conduct.
But do you know tennis is actually a gentleman's game? and then the umpire can actually penalize the player
For swearing.
for ungentlemanlike conduct, and
That's what happened.
yes, yeah, and that's the infringement. They can say deduction of points for ungentlemanlike conduct. Full stop.
That's just points.
Yeah.
Novak Djokovic got thrown
got
out
thrown out the
from the US Open.
Yeah, because his ball hit
Yeah,
a
his
lady.
ball hit someone's throat.
Yeah,
His tennis ball.
Ah.
The lineswoman, I think. Or
Yes, it
yeah.
was lineswoman,
Yeah.
and then the umpire said, "This is ungentlemanlike because you hit the ball on purpose," and he has now injured one of the fraternity, one of the linesmen. So you are
because
now
you
thrown out of
are
the game.
unable to control your
Yes,
tantrum.
Exactly.
But to be fair, when it happened, he was very quick to go to apologize and everything. But the rights of the umpire was that I can throw you out. I can throw you out.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
But I think they should have done it much earlier. There's another player from Australia.
Australia, who?
Kyrgios, I think. Kyrgios.
Oh, yeah, Kyrgios. He is a boy.
He is a
actually.
boy.
He's a boy. He throws tantrums all the time.
and all the time, and then
He
he
curses,
swears.
he throws tantrums all the time, and
It's-
then when he loses, it's never his fault.
Never his fault.
Yeah,
it's everyone else's fault.
it's always the umpire's fault, the linesman's fault,
the
yeah.
weather, the
Yes.
uneven surface. I think they should have enforced whatever that they did on Djokovic much earlier, so that people like him would also
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
justice would have been served a little bit better.
Yes, that's right.
But then again, to be fair, Kyrgios is where he is. He's not world number one.
I doubt he will ever will be with his particular his
Demeanor and his
his
behavior.
his behavior and all, and probably also even if he does achieve some sort of success, a lot of brands want to avoid him.
Correct.
They do not want to be associated with someone like that.
Correct.
Someone who's brash, who's loud.
Correct.
And end of the day doesn't take responsibility for his or her actions. So a lot of big corporate brands will want to dissociate themselves with people like that.
These days, brands are actually looking for the total package.
Oh yeah.
You not just have to be a good performer, but you have to also have that proper conduct.
Yes, that's
The
right.
moment you don't have the proper conduct, they're very quick to drop
Oh
you.
yeah.
Very quick to drop you.
Example, during Tiger Woods.
Oh yes.
Right, Tiger Woods.
Mm.
So when Tiger Woods, when Tiger Woods' wife discovered that he cheated, so Tiger Woods, the wife chased him with a golf club, and he crashed his car. The next day, Accenture, a huge company that has backed Tiger Woods ever since the beginning of his career, pulled their sponsorships out.
Yep.
And bear in mind, Tiger Woods was still world number one. Basically, he was still the world's best golfer. But because of his private life and he didn't do his wife justice, Accenture decided, you know what, this is not the person that we want to represent the company.
Correct.
And now, hence, you are no longer our spokesperson.
Correct. I think Nike also pulled him off.
Nike
for a
pulled him
while.
off as well.
I'm not sure whether is he back yet.
I think he's back.
Probably
yeah,
back,
Yeah,
'cause,
Nike pulled him off for
Couple of years, I think.
for a couple of years. Then, but after that, when he climbed up the ranks again, then Nike came back.
But that's precisely the point.
Yeah.
If you want to be a boy, you might be great, but there are repercussions.
Yeah.
If you're a gentleman all the way, that's why people like Roger Federer.
Oh, for Federer is good.
Federer is
Yeah,
good.
Federer
The way he
is
conducts
a
himself.
gentleman. Yeah.
He has tantrums. He has tantrums, but the overall thing is that he still conducts himself very well.
Yes.
So top brands wants to be associated
Yeah.
with him. Some people say Uniqlo lousy brand. Uniqlo is the world's number one
Oh yeah.
most valuable clothing company.
Yeah. They are the world's largest. I would say the world's largest fast fashion company.
Correct. And the owner of Uniqlo is Japan's number one.
Oh yeah, he's the richest guy in Japan.
Yes. So that company, no matter what you say about the brand, still wants to be associated with Federer. And despite him, age is closer to 40.
Oh yeah, and the fact that he hasn't really won a Grand Slam for
Correct.
for a long time.
He's not
really.
world number one.
He's not world number one anymore.
He's already slipped up.
I think he's like 3 or 4 at the moment.
Yeah, but that's still fine. The
But brands
overall
still want
conduct-
him.
Brands still want him.
Brands still want
Rolex
him.
still wants him.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So coming back, boys versus men. Now, what would you advise for boys?
For boys,
For
I would
boys.
say for boys, you have to be self-aware. That means you need to understand that whatever you are in now, it's not going to work for you for long term. It will be detrimental for you, and you need to step out of your comfort zone, right? You're now in a shell, and you need to really step out of the shell. And no matter what's holding you back, don't give excuses. You know, people tend to give excuses for things holding them back. They can say, "Oh, I was brought up in the wrong environment. It was my parents. It's my friends and all." You are your own man, or you are your own person, and you have every power in you, or every ounce of strength in you to change
and be who you want to be.
And who you want to be, right? Who you want to become like, and or what kind of legacy you want to leave behind.
And then for those who are looking into image, same thing. If you are, well, this one probably will correlate with age a little bit. If you're still young and you want to be a boy, and you want to take your time to grow up, I mean, you can. No one says you can't. You can. But if you're 40 years old, you're 50, and you still want to be a boy, there's a bit of incongruence towards there. Okay, nobody wants a 40-year-old cute guy. Just doesn't resonate very congruently. You know, like what tak ngam, you know, as people would say, really not ngam at all. By the time, you know, but if you are like a late 20s, 30-year-old manly person, you are that for life, you know. So even from what Dr. Inky is saying, being that's from your core values, I'm saying even just from the more superficial looks and your persona, once you move towards the man, you generally want to be in that. You don't want to maintain that boyish persona all your life. Let's say, for example, Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams
wants to be a boy, bad boy, whatever boy. He's closer to 50, still a boy, and just doesn't look right, you know. Just looks wrong. Coming back to even like the whole Kingsman, when the character became gentleman.
When he evolved and matured,
then he's there all the way. You know, in second installment and whatever installment, he's going to be at that level. In fact, after that, when he started doing other movies, it seemed wrong for him to do any other character except for being a gentleman. It just looked wrong. Like again, tak ngam already. So take it from us, you know, manly guy. Manly
very extremely handsome and an extremely well groomed doctor here.
So take it from us that there is more pros for you to move towards the manly section. Rather than remain the boy. If you are still young, go ahead, enjoy your youth. But eventually, you would like to transition, whereby the world of opportunities will be, you know, for
far greater.
All right, guys. So this is it from us today. It's a very unconventional topic, and we will be back next week with another topic.
With some other topic. All right.
All right. So this is me, Dr. Ellie,
and I'm Dr. Inky,
and we are signing off.
Two dogs.
Bye.